Welcome back. This is Dave and Matt. We got another episode of Comic Dudes with Attitudes. This week, Matt wants to talk about something that I have strong opinions on.
Yes.
When posed to me in text format, the topic at hand was something along the lines of, like, do new fans need to earn it? Is how he put it to me. And I will let Matt get into the finer details of what he means by this loaded statement.
So today I want to talk about the whole idea of like fandoms or gatekeeping or, new people to a hobby having to earn their place, so to speak, in said hobby. So I just want to make sure like we have a similar definition because the last couple episodes we've been off. So I just want to make sure we have like an agreed upon definition of like what we're talking about. So I'm just going to use gatekeeping as the word. So like the activity of controlling or limiting access to an outside group to something. Can we just like establish that? We're good.
Did you just
that.
read me a Webster's dictionary definition of gatekeeping?
Sure just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so I'd never really run into this term until like the 2020s, and that's kind of where it really became popular, I guess. And in regards more so, I heard it in regards to like cosplay communities, and like anime is like a big thing where this happens a lot.
Happens a lot in music scenes as well.
Music, okay.
This has been I've been around this term many times in my life.
And that's why like that's really all I wanted to talk about is just like this term and this concept. And like one thing I have seen or read in the anime community, someone who might look like myself with a dark complexion, be black, like trying to pose as these anime characters, and someone being like, well, you don't look like the character, you don't look traditionally like the character, so you shouldn't play the character. And I don't
think that's gatekeeping. I think that's just racist.
Yes. Well, yeah, yes, it would be. But that is one of the ways I've seen it used and we can go into that thought that you just said as well too. So when I kind of think about gatekeeping, I kind of think of two kinds of gatekeepers. Do you know the Marvel character Zeron the Tester by any chance?
I do not.
Okay, he is a Celestial. This was in when I played HeroClix. He's this big Celestial. He's a pink and orange, or a pink and blue guy. And the thing that his character did is he would test you, and if you failed these dice rolls, he would hit you and deal you damage. So the first kind is this Zeron the Tester kind of guy who's the quiz master, where you have to earn this respect. You have to, well, you like Robin. Okay, why is this person your favorite Robin? Or what is this like quiz mentality where you have to earn, like we're playing Assassin's Creed and you have to earn these side quests in order to, progress to this certain level to gain acceptance into this group. The other one I would say is like the culture warrior. This whole like culture war thing, I'm just like so over it on, kind of both sides, but this culture warrior mentality that is normally, I'm just going to call it what it is. It's normally the stereotypical comic book guy, probably primarily a white guy, who their comments have a tinge of racism and homophobia, transphobia mixed in there, sexism, and they just kind of say like whatever they want, or these low-key kind of comments. And yeah, so those are the two kind of forms that I think I see the most or hear about the most. And then I'm going to turn it over to you in 1 second. So my thing to you is this something that exists more online, or is this something you have really witnessed in person from your experience? Or
before I answer,
sure,
I need to know if you are pro or anti some sort of gate to the comic hobby.
In this, no, I think no, I'm not. I think well, I don't want to bury one of my points, but I'll bury one
Okay.
of my
Well, you don't have to.
points.
You don't have to. That's okay. That's
No,
okay.
in this regard, no. Would I rather be sitting behind the desk, like making people take quizzes to get into the hobby, or let them in? Absolutely, let the people in, because like there's no comic book hobby if we don't change or adapt or do
Yeah.
anything, or
Agreed.
there's no hobby. It's dead. So
Yes.
no, I'm
Correct.
not. If I had to pick one route, I'm definitely let the people in.
Well, I'm going to make a comment now that may sound insane and out of context, but I feel like I need to go and cut out my little heel promo at the beginning of the
Get it
episode
done. Go, Ric Flair. Get it done.
because I think we're on the same page on this one. I cannot stand gatekeeping. I think it, not only to your point does it kill not even I wouldn't even say like the hobby, like a community. Like gatekeeping
Yes.
kills communities. Um the insane notion that you somehow have to earn your place in something because someone else knew about it first is the softest, most insecure take someone could possibly have. You should welcome in new ideas and new people and new thoughts and new ways of doing. Um, it's my most of my encounters with gatekeeping have been in music, specifically like in the scene that I am a part of. Um, and I've always sort of it because I'm in a hardcore band. I've been involved in the hardcore scene in various places that I've lived since I was 15 years old. I'm not going to say how old I am now, but I'm old, and I have very consistently been against the idea of keeping new people out because that's the quickest way to kill your scene. Now, there is a certain amount of once you're in, you do have to adhere to a certain set of rules and standards to stay in. So there's like a secondary level. It's not like true gatekeeping, but it's like maintenance gatekeeping for everyone that's in. Everyone's welcome, but it doesn't mean you get to stay there forever.
It's not a true gate, but it's like the shrubbery up. It's like
Yeah. Yeah, like you
we're
might
gonna
get
maintain our house.
you might get tossed over the shrubbery if you break some of the rules, but we'll let you in. Everyone's welcome. You just got to make sure that you're not doing anything to jeopardize the group while you're there.
So I think this is so I wanted to use Invincible for an example. I don't think you definitely didn't gatekeep me, like, because like we had that famous dinner at the Fox and the Hound where we got into comics. But what do you define that? Because there is a certain level of like sweat equity you want someone to put into something to really appreciate it. And I think when you're really passionate about something, it might come off as gatekeeping, but you're really not gatekeeping, if that makes sense. Like, and I notice this a lot in comic book communities. Like, it's like, oh well, I I want to read Spider-Man, Dave. I want to go read Spider-Man today. Well, Matt, like, no, you should really go back and you should do, like XYZ. Like, these are the perennial things you need to
Yeah.
read in order to really appreciate or understand, because you're like trying to help that person out. If that's gatekeeping, which it's not, but if that was the definition of gatekeeping, then I'd say, yeah, I'm like pro gatekeeping, because I would want that person to really appreciate something and get kind of on my level. So like I've been rattling this in my brain, like what truly is this? Like I don't know what that concept would be.
Yeah.
I was hoping
So
you could maybe help me with it.
one, I feel like I feel like I just got softly accused of gatekeeping you 15 years ago, and I take
No,
great
no, you
offense to
didn't.
that.
No, you didn't. That's not what I
You
said at
no, you
all.
kind of you alluded to it a little bit. I think you did.
No, but no, you didn't. You
No, but you
didn't.
did. But you did. That's
You,
okay.
you
That's okay. That's
all
okay.
right. All right. Here we go. Here's your heel promo right here. Because it's how I said. You said, here's Invincible 1, try it. I think you should try it. You didn't say, hey, Matt, you need to read 15 volumes of Invincible before you get into it. Like, it was like, here you go. Here's a subtle thing. I want you to try it. And that's normally how, when you've made recommendations to me, you've been like, here's
Yeah.
one thing, try
Well,
it.
that's not. I
I'm
don't
like,
consider that to be gatekeeping at all.
no, I'm like, Dave, before you can do this, you need to read this. I have it on a spreadsheet. Like, I'm the gatekeeper guy.
But I don't
Like,
think
if
that's
anything.
gatekeeping either. You're just trying to set someone up to have the best experience possible. To me, within the comic book hobby, the type of gatekeeping that I'm experiencing in music scenes, not that I've personally experienced, but I've seen happen to others that I have spoken out against, would be something like me saying, "Hey, I'm not super into like comic books or whatever, but I like superhero movies, and my favorite ones are like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies because they're funny." And then someone that's like deeply into comic books responding with, "Well, I don't think you shouldn't really get get out of the comic book store. Like you probably shouldn't.
Whoa,
Like you don't belong here." Like that's the type of
that's
gatekeeping that I'm
whoa.
like. That is where you're judging someone for being like not the right type of fan. They don't
Okay.
they don't engage in the content the way you think they should or are supposed to, and you actively are trying to keep them out of your space. I don't want you in my hobby because the way that you interact with it or enjoy it is not the right way according to me, so therefore you are unwelcome. That is the gatekeeping that I would most often refer to as being true gatekeeping.
You just like reminded me of something, one of our previous conversations. I
Is
think
this
it was
something
when
else
I
that I
was,
did like 15 years ago that I didn't
no,
realize was
it's actually
offensive?
not, actually, no,
I
it
know, I'm
has
kidding. I'm
nothing.
just kidding.
No, it was from your experience. I think like working at the LCS or going to the LCS, like that mom who wanted that Green Lantern comic. That
Yeah.
can, that would be like gatekeeping, right? Kind of like, hey, I need a Green Lantern comic for my son, and like
Yeah.
I don't want to paint all LCSs in a bad light, but like that one we went to in Ohio, that was a gatekeeping ass experience if I ever went to.
Hmm.
Didn't make you feel comfortable, made you feel like you were an idiot if you didn't know every little thing about something. And
Yep.
unfortunately, and I don't think, I'm not saying all comic shops are like that. And from my experiences from, previous episodes we've talked about, I haven't really experienced it that much to those levels. But I think comic shops can be a breeding ground for that kind of behavior if the
I
community is
agree.
not maintained in the right way.
I agree. I also think that just because the hobby itself has been kind of not mainstream pop culture, sort of mom's basement type of mentality, didn't get a lot of exposure unless, something crazy happened like Superman died. It lended itself to a lot of not great socially types
Yeah.
being in a position to have to be socially accepting of new people, and that's you're asking for things to go bad when that happens because it's just difficult for some of those people to really let go of some of their preconceived notions. I'm sure there was a period of time predating when I was getting into comics where it was probably I would imagine that at some point women were kept out of the hobby in some places for some reasons. We know that women have had a more difficult time getting into it from the creator side, writing, drawing, inking comics. It's recent past that women have been able to really like push themselves into really prominent positions within the industry, despite the fact that they're just as good or better than any of their peers who are not women. So, but I think that I don't want to steal your term. If you want to talk about that term we were chatting about before I hit record, I'll let you make a point about the sweat and all of this.
The sweat equity.
Yeah, I think.
No, you,
Go ahead.
I think you covered, like, kind of covered it. My
I
thing
just
was
want to
more
hit on the
so,
term itself. I hate that phrase. I hate
okay,
that
go, yeah,
phrase
yeah,
because
yeah. I don't,
it is a gatekeepy type of phrase too, and it implies that I have to somehow pay my dues before I'm allowed to engage in this content or community and to be on the same level as someone else. Like by definition, when you're saying that someone has to put in the work or put in their time or pay their dues, you're essentially saying, I'm better and more prominent and deserve this more than you do, and you have to put in some sort of arbitrary effort that I will deem either good enough or not good enough to allow you access to things the way that I have access to them. And you can expand that to anything beyond comic books, and it would still be bullshit. It's the antithesis of inclusivity, which you know is a thing that I'm very, very passionate about. Mm-hmm. And I hate that. I hate that type of person that feels that way and that talks that way and that treats others that way.
Well said. I'm just like, I don't know. I think you hit on such good stuff, like kind of just about those awkward social interactions, and maybe we have some people that are in positions that really struggle from like social anxiety and those kind of, and I, not to say that I'm pro those people, but I can kind of understand it a little bit. Of I really feel, if I'm being honest, I feel sorry for them, but like I can understand, like, okay, I was a comic reader for all this time. This is the one thing I've kind of had to hold on to, and now there's all these new people kind of coming into this thing, and like kind of feeling like under attack, I guess. I don't know. I can understand it. I don't think it's right. I don't agree with it, but yeah, if you're not inclusive like that, you're going to kill your community. You're going to kill your hobby off it. You just are. And
100%.
From this is like my experience from like what I've experienced going into a lot of different shops. I have not had this gatekeeping experience in anything that I can really remember openly happening to me. With that said, I'm a 6'3", 270-pound black man, and I don't think that a lot of people are going to mess with me about stuff like that, if I'm being honest. I've definitely seen women go into like hobby shops, like where I'd be playing Magic or something, and get the weird looks, and get from like the players and the comic, the owner of the shop, and that just like, that just sucks, dude. Like, it sucks. And I've seen it, I guess. I guess I have seen it when playing like Magic and stuff like that. Like, I think it's awesome when we have a female player, like, and hook her up with the baddest deck we have. We want people to play this game, right? Like, I don't want to just be the same people all the time. Let's get some new blood in here every once in a while. It's a good thing. But I really, I thought I was going to take like a pro gatekeeping stance. I'm not pro gatekeeping.
I really thought you were going to. I really thought you were going to take a pro gatekeeping stance.
I'm not like the sweat equity thing. Like, it's more so it could be deemed as sweat equity, but I don't mean it in like that kind of way. It's like, I want you to experience this thing the way that I think will be the most beneficial to you. But like, also, who am I to tell you how to engage with content? I think everyone can engage with whatever they want, but we're all going to make recommendations to each other, and it's just more so from that aspect. Like, I went into a Warhammer shop, and I heard Warhammer was like super, gatekeeping. Granted, this was probably one of the nicest. I live in a very bougie part of town in upstate New York, here in Rochester. Okay. So like, this shop is super nice. It smelled good. Like, and I went in there knowing literally nothing about Warhammer. And these dudes were like, they were all playing, and they're like, come over, look at these things. Like, if you come regularly and play, you can use our pieces. Like, we just want people to hang out. So like, that's not the experience that I've experienced. I can definitely see like in an online, on Twitter or on Facebook communities, people just say all kinds of just wild stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so I can definitely see that being
Twitter's a lawless land.
Exactly.
It really, it's difficult to find rational takes on Twitter sometimes.
And it's not, the platform isn't predicated on that. So like, you're not going to find.
Very true.
It's all about the snappy pizzazz. But even like a Facebook group, I could see if like, oh, I joined this comic book Facebook group or something, and then someone's just like, they jump down your throat. I could see you being like, well, if that's what the community is like, I'm done, and then we lost someone.
Yep, I agree. If you're not growing, you're dying when it comes to community. if you're steady state, you're still closer to dying than growing. And if you're actively keeping people out, your days are numbered.
So this was good. This one better than I thought. Do you have any? I have one other like example I want to ask you, but I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to say.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So I don't know if this is like gatekeeping or not. So you can tell me, or you can jump down my throat or not.
Okay.
This is video game related.
Okay.
As an owner of both of these consoles, I am getting increasingly frustrated that we cannot focus on the current gen of consoles. And we always have to have these additions work with the previous generation of console. We have to keep primarily the Xbox Series S is holding the consoles back. Like it is holding the consoles back.
Yes.
Because it doesn't have the requisite horsepower. No, with me saying that, like, I really want, like, I'm happy Spider-Man 2 is PS5 because, like, I know that they are solely focused on that machine.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter what you say, they're when they have the other systems in mind, they are a piece of them. You have to lower it down to that denominator, the lowest common denominator. You got to lower it down to that. So, like, my take is we're 3 years in. If you really wanted a console, you would have one. I know they're $500, but I know they're expensive, but if you put enough money away, you should be able to get one of these consoles. Trust me, I'm not rich. Dave's doing much better in his life than I am. But like, if you save your money, a little bit.
Why did I get kicked in the shins during that one? What the?
I'm just saying. But like, there's people doing much better. There's people doing much better than me out in this world, and I can afford it. It's called saving. It's called personal responsibility. And video gaming is, well, I think it is a cost-effective hobby. It's not a cheap hobby. So I don't know if that makes me gatekeepy because I want to shut the gate on everyone else and move forward. I don't know.
I have two thoughts.
Okay.
One, I don't think that makes you a gatekeeper. I think it makes you an asshole.
Okay. That's fine.
Only because you're welcome. It's a very that's the same as like a boomer saying, "Oh, you could buy a house if you quit buying Starbucks every day." No, you can't. The reason why some people can't buy a house is because of you, Grandpa, because your generation destroyed the country.
All right.
But saying that, like, saying you're not having as good of a time playing video games because some people can't afford a Series X is sort of insane to say out loud, I think. Like, you don't know what everyone's situation is. Maybe somebody doesn't want physical games, and the right console for them is the one with no disc drive, aka the Series S. It's not their fault. The people you want to blame, and this is my second point, the people you want to blame work at Microsoft because they're the ones mandating that every game that comes out on Xbox has to work on the Series S and the Series X. Your beloved Xbox, the people that run Microsoft.
I don't need that shot at my kneecap.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. This is the truth you need to hear because they're the problem. The consumer is not the problem here. And you've got me wound up now. You did this to yourself. In the country that we live in, the way that we have implemented capitalism, the consumer will always be the victim. Always. And this is what's happening in this scenario. Don't tell people to save their money. Tell Microsoft to stop mandating that every game work on the inferior console that they just absolutely had to bring to market. For why? No one knows. The Series S has never been difficult to get because no one wanted it. I do have one, though.
Seems like a very pro Sony stance. I'm just gonna say we need a little personal responsibility around here. People they're holding me back, Dave. They're holding me back. These Series S people.
Grow up. Quit blaming other people. Blame the people whose fault it is. The 1% that run Microsoft.
You're always fighting the man. You're always fighting.
Yeah, I am.
Fighting the man.
I am. And with that, let's see what the man's been up to in the last week. Let's hit some news.
It's time for the news from Matt, because Dave doesn't really pay attention to this.
So following up on our conversation last week, this is what it was that made me laugh. Did you watch the Their Babies trailer yet? Did you watch
I have not.
Their Babies? Did you watch it yet?
I have not.
Okay. I was
I'm
just curious
sorry.
if you watched it. Just following
I
up on
wanted
that
to.
conversation.
I had a busy week last week, and a busy weekend.
It's all right, man. That's all right.
Time
Okay.
change messed me up on Saturday night.
Oh, dude, the time change was brutal, bro. That was brutal.
I didn't sleep in my own bed Saturday night, so it was a rough night of sleep, and then I lost an hour on top of that. Sunday was a rough day, man. I was pretty tired all day Sunday. I didn't do much of anything.
All right. Okay.
Sorry.
Recently announced per Newsarama, Wonder Woman #1.
I saw that. I saw that.
Creative team of Tom King.
He is kind of a
Daniel
creative
St. Pierre.
king. Who's the artist? Sorry, I was talking over you.
Daniel St. Pierre. He did Dark Crisis. His art's really good. Like real good. As the resident art snob, I'm on board.
Okay.
I'm on board with this one.
Okay. Snob approved. I like it.
Snob approved. The art's definitely approved. I'm not the biggest Tom King fan.
I am.
But his Elseworld stories are very good. His Elseworlds and miniseries are very good. So I'm just saying. So just a quick type up, like the print that they released after a mysterious Amazonian is accused of mass murder. U.S. Congress passes the Amazon Safety Act, barring all Amazons from American soil. That's the solicitation. I don't know why, but when I read that, I immediately thought of you, and I thought of that Penguin book. The U.S. government getting involved again. Oswald Cobblepot, secret agent. I don't know. Just the U.S. government.
The only way this gets better is if Oswald Cobblepot is hunting down Amazonians.
He might be the crossover. That could be the crossover.
Oh, shit. I hate that.
Before they get to the #1 issue, like this is going to be later in the fall, of course, there's going to be an oversized 800 issue for Wonder Woman and the Flash. So we got to make sure we get that in. That'll be $8, I'm sure, $10. But are you interested in this book at all?
I was until you said the thing about the Congress ban. And like, how, does Diana really like need to spend that much time in the United States? Like, she can't just move to Europe. Like, why is this such a? She's like fighting to get into the border. Like, I don't understand.
Great point. Tremendous point. I don't know.
She's very old and has a lot of money. She can live wherever she wants.
I'm gonna check it out on Infant. No, I'm gonna actually get the first issue. I think I'm gonna get the first issue in print.
I'll wait. I'll wait 30 days.
He'll wait the 30. He's gonna wait the 30, but he's gonna try it out.
Maybe. We'll see if I'm done with No Man's Land by then.
You got like 5,000 more pages. There's no way.
Yeah, I
know. Quick one. New Incredible Hulk relaunch. I didn't see like a whole lot of it. I just saw a creative team. Philip Kennedy Johnson and artist Nick Klein. Ooh, Nick Klein, I think, did the Thor run. I was like, where have I heard that name? But Philip Kennedy Johnson, he was the guy on Action Comics that I really like. So I'll check that one out as well too.
So they did what, 12 issues of Hulk before they relaunched it again?
Yeah, pretty much. I think so. It was like
nice.
It might have been 16. Don't quote me or something, but there was definitely a crossover in there with. There was a crossover with Thor, and that was definitely like 3 or 4 issues. So not a continuous Hulk run, but yeah, year rebooted, baby. But it will have your legacy number on it, so you will be happy. It should have your legacy numbering.
So great.
Just getting beat down by the news this week. I don't remember. I don't know if we had an off mic conversation or if we even talked about this at all. As reported per IGN, did you see that Suicide Squad game that you love so much and pre-ordered got delayed?
That was one of my news items for this week too. Was the Suicide Squad delay? So they didn't come out and say that it was due to fan backlash, but I sure hope that it is. I watched more gameplay on it today, and I cannot stress enough how awful that combat looks. You've got a developer who absolutely changed the game when it comes to that type of hand-to-hand combat in in a superhero game. The Arkham games are just perfect when it comes to combat. Why you would deviate from that is just beyond me. But yeah, I heard that they said it was going to be like delayed to the fall, but then other reports are saying no, it's 2024. Like it's not the fall. So I don't know. I don't know yet what it is, but if it means they're going to go back to the drawing board and pull out all that games as a service crap and then give me a linear game with good combat, then I'm in.
Can they realistically do that though in like a
maybe
year?
Probably won't be very good when it comes out, but they could.
I wonder if it's going to be running at 30 frames a second. I wonder, man. I wonder so much.
I mean, it's got to run on the Series S, so you tell me. What do you think?
I'm appreciative. But there is, I did not know there was a battle pass confirmed. You weren't kidding when you were talking about the cosmetics.
Of course
battle
there was.
Battle pass confirmed. Hopefully they pull that out as well too. Next item, as much as I hate, and I think we went on a rant 2 episodes ago or a few episodes ago, as much as we hate supporting the big bad Amazon, Dead Space Remake is on sale right now for $49 on Amazon. So if you want to cave on your morals a little bit and want to pick one of those bad boys up, a physical copy, that's probably a good idea. From what I've heard, it is a fantastic game. Dave is shaking his head no.
I already have the Dead Space remake. Why do I need to buy it?
You're good. I'm just saying for the listeners out there.
Okay.
$69 game for $49.99. That's pretty.
I mean, it's been 6 weeks since the game came out.
That's crazy how cheap game prices go that quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then sad news for me, but Zdarsky and Chichetto will be departing Daredevil in August, which will end their run. There's like a promo image, and it's like Daredevil's mask that's like broken, and it said, "This is what God has done." And as the guy who's all about finite stuff, I'm gonna be sad, but I'm happy it's coming to the end. I did not know they had been on that title for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
It's been a 5-year run of them. I did not. I thought it was like maybe 2 years or 3 years, but yeah. They had a 5-year run on the book, so I'll definitely be looking forward to
new number 1 in September.
Oh, you know it, baby. You know it. With a horrible artist on it. We'll see. So that's all I have for news this week.
I have one more. I have one thing.
Sure.
There was an article posted on comicbeat.com. I'll actually link the article in the description of the episode. But sorry, I had to take a sip of water. This article is really talking about comicsology and the digital space, and it's sort of like a reaction to why people are so disappointed with comicsology's experience now after getting folded into Amazon, and why not much can be done about it. It's the title of the article is something to the effect of why it's so difficult to combat comicsology. Like the next comicsology is not easy to create. And kind of like lists all the reasons why it's very difficult to be a disruptor in the space, to compete with comicsology in the digital space. So main takeaway from the article for me is that it's not going to happen unless someone like Google or Microsoft decides that they want to elbow into Amazon territory and try to have a competing comics platform. And to be honest, the hobby is probably not big enough to warrant either of those companies making that kind of an investment. So also kind of a sad article to read, because we're probably not going to get anything to challenge the status quo for a very long time.
Yeah, make sure you link that. I definitely want to read that.
Yeah, I will.
Appreciate it.
That was it. So, I only want to talk about Suicide Squad and that article, so we can move on. So I haven't been playing a ton of stuff. Back on Elden Ring. We're off GTA 5. We're back on Elden Ring. And I did you a disservice, Matt. And I told you I was getting back into Apex a couple weeks ago. I didn't explain to you some fundamental changes that were made to the game that I think might change some things for you.
This is interesting. Go ahead. Yes, please.
So, Apex Legends has been a game for 4 years. To this month, actually, it came out in March of 2019, and it's been relatively unchanged. They've made enhancements to the combat. They've added new legends, new maps, new abilities, whatever. But the core of the game has always been Battle Royale. And then they introduced a mode, I don't know, like a year ago or something, called Arenas, which was a 3v3, and then first to 3 victories, but you had to win by 2. And it was okay. They've had other LTMs that they've done, limited time modes within the Battle Royale space. And
single death on that mode, is it like you die and you're out?
Yeah.
3v3 in Arena?
Yeah.
Okay.
But 2 weeks ago, because people haven't really loved Arenas, and people have loved some of their other limited time modes, they took Arenas out of the game for their 4th anniversary celebration. And in its place is a persistent limited time mode with rotating game modes. And there are 3 game modes. There's a game mode called Control, which is literally just hardpoint. There's a game called Gun Run, which is the same as Call of Duty's gun game mode, where you have to go through kill with every gun until you get to the end. 4 teams. 4 teams in Gun Run, 2 teams in Control, but the teams are 9v9. So bigger team size. And 6v6 team deathmatch.
With multiple kills, like regular Call of Duty.
First team to 50. You respawn endlessly. You can change your loadout. You can change your legend in between deaths. They built basically the multiplayer experience that you've been saying you would want in Apex Legends, and they made it, it's evergreen. Like that rotating LTM is in it for as long as people are going to be playing it, as long as it makes sense to be in it. So team deathmatch, Control, Gun Run, all the time. And it runs on a Series S.
What are you playing on?
Series S.
You play it on the S? Okay.
Yeah. All my other friends that play on Xbox, and we don't like you can play cross-platform on Apex, but you can't use party chat. You have to be in game chat, and it's not a great experience. So we all just play on Xbox.
Do you guys do Discord at all?
I know they don't, but I know you can use Discord on Xbox now.
You can use it on PlayStation too. It just happened last week.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I was talking to Sheridan on Discord, like on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So that's something you guys might want to. I don't know. You guys got your thing, but
the way that Apex Legends works, your cosmetics don't transfer from different accounts to different consoles. So I have hundreds of dollars of content on Xbox platform, and cross-platform play in terms like cross progression is nowhere in the near term for that game. So I'm just playing on Xbox.
Okay.
But anyway,
cool.
Thought you should know that. Might be something you're into.
I'm going to check that out. I will. Hopefully I can get some help, but I will.
Yeah.
I'll definitely download that.
Happy to help.
You good?
For what I'm playing, yes. I read a lot in the last week, so.
See, I need to do some more reading, but go. Yeah.
You can, if you want to hit some of yours, I can bring it home with what I'm reading if you want.
I've just been playing, so
okay.
I guess my quick one is Guardians of the Galaxy. The last episode I was lamenting about how it was leaving Game Pass. I am pleased to report that I started playing it on PlayStation because it's not going away. I am up to chapter 9.
Oh wow.
So I'm at the halfway point now.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah, so I'm digging this game, but I kind of want to slow roll it a little bit and do like a chapter here or there. Like that's kind of the vibe I'm kind of getting right now. I think that's probably because I played the game twice to get to a certain point. So I'm kind of like, I'm kind of Guardians out. Like the game is good. That's not what I'm saying. It's just I kind of wanted to dabble and try something else. So I dabbled and tried something else, and I started playing last night Call of Duty, the campaign of Call of Duty.
Okay.
Dude.
We're talking Modern Warfare 2?
Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
The Modern Warfare 2 campaign. I mean, I know Call of Duty gets a lot of ish, but like these campaigns are so good and they're so fun. And they're like, I just really like them.
It's the only thing I like about Call of Duty.
Yeah, like I really like the original. I don't know if you ever read like the novel Rainbow Six.
No.
I didn't either, but I flipped through it. It's like the team from Rainbow Six, like this multinational, like group of people that come together. There's definitely a lot of Brits. You got like Captain Price, who's a legend, Ghost and Gaz, they're all British, but the main intelligence operative, Laswell, she's an American. You got Soap, he's Scottish. And then there's like Vargas is a Mexican guy, and like I know there's some Asian representation as well too. But like I really the first Modern Warfare game of this like reboot series, I really enjoyed that one, and this just like kind of picks up. And I just love Captain Price. I just think he's just like a great character. He's always been from the original Modern Warfares. But I like that. I like that by playing the campaign, you unlock operators in the multiplayer, and also you can get like I know like the next mission I beat, you can get like a double XP token. So like there's a reason to play the campaign as well if you're on the multiplayer side. With that said, I do kind of understand some of your hate because like Call of Duty, I don't know when, but it is straight up like pay to win. Like you can just buy guns from the store and buy
Blackout.
blueprints.
Black Ops 4 and Blackout. That's when it started going pay to win.
So you could just buy gun, like you can legitimately just go buy a blueprint, which is a copy of a gun, and like I noticed like I grinded a lot in Call of Duty and like built my own gun, and magically, and my skill level didn't increase dramatically. Magically, I started doing much better in games because like I had a halfway decent gun. Like that just sucks that you got to put so much time in those games if you even want to just have a respectable gun to get into a fight in that game. Like because you could just buy it. But
curious that you have a problem with that idea in Call of Duty, but it's okay in Assassin's Creed.
Absolutely, it's my experience. If I want to run around with a flaming horse,
your experience in multiplayer too. Horse. You're not owed a level playing field in multiplayer.
Well, sure I am.
No, you're not, because there's a skill gap. No matter what, there's a skill gap.
I mean, technically, in reality, I should save my money if I really need to buy, and I just buy my own guns as well, just like everyone else. But that's really what I should be doing.
That's the hill you want to die on.
So my last thing, I have an apology.
Oh. Okay.
I'll profess. I was about to get crushed. I have an apology today. We're gonna butter it up. That's gonna be the last thing I say. I want to apologize to you, truly, sir. I want to apologize to you. I want to apologize to your man Andy that I slandered.
Oh.
I got my remote play working on my PlayStation. Dude, there is no better feeling in the world. Going up with the iPad, taking my sleek, sexy blue controller, sitting in my pajamas playing Nathan Drake in my bedroom before bed, dude. I love it. At work, I'm grinding. Kid, you didn't see the did you see when Deion Sanders, when he went and met the recruits in Colorado, like the students that were already there?
Mm-mm.
He pretty much told these kids, like, you need to transfer. I'm bringing in my own people. And he kept saying, I'm coming to him. Like, I'm here. We're about to build this program. I'm coming. If you're not ready to work, I'm coming. I'm coming. Dave, with this remote play, with me at work, I'm coming for Apex. I'm coming, Dave. I'm coming. I'm putting 200 days in, homie. I got it working on the Xbox. I got it on the PlayStation.
Told you.
The PlayStation is better than the Xbox remote play. It's way better.
I know.
I can actually use it on my Mac with my MacBook, so the screen is like much better. I love it. So I'm kind of becoming like a PlayStation guy because of that. Like
for a few weeks at least.
Well, it's We need to talk about that on air, and I'll let you air me out about that. That's
Let's
fine.
let's be
But,
real. It's only it doesn't last. It's not permanent. You're gonna flip flop forever.
that's the topic. We can get a topic on it. But
I'm gonna bury you in a suit that is half Xbox and half PlayStation.
that's fine. I just need to get to parity. That's all. It's fine. You got to have them both, man. You do.
Yeah, you do.
But
You really do.
You really do. But no, thank you for. It literally was just like brute luck. I just kept pressing connect, and it just did. And once it connected, it's been fine ever since. So I've been
Good.
playing.
I don't know if I really
minutes.
deserve that apology because I wasn't super nice to you about it last week.
No, you definitely weren't. You're never nice about it, but it's
That's
okay.
not true. I am nice about things.
Get to what you're reading.
Before I do that, I would like to warn you. You might want to get reading on our next Invincible episode because I started volume 5. Brother, there are a lot of words in that thing. Okay. It is so wordy. I don't remember it being this wordy. I don't remember Invincible ever being this wordy. Rob had something to say, and he was not going to say it quickly.
I need another week,
Dude, there's so many word balloons in this thing. Holy crap. It's all words.
I'll get it done.
It's all words. Yeah, so I was laying in bed last night. That put me to sleep. It was putting me to sleep. There's so many words. I didn't get far.
I never read at night because it does put me to sleep.
I have to read at night. It's the only time I can. So, I've done some reading. I read 2 more issues of Radiant Black. Read 21 and 22, right? I think 21 and 22. No, 20 and 21. I saved 22 because...
Start a new arc?
No, I just don't have to ever worry about it not shipping on time. I'll always have one to read. I read a couple here and there. I don't have to live in pain like you do, worrying about when it's going to show up for me to read it. It's always there. Whenever I'm ready, it's there. I just gotta hold it back a little bit. That's all. I read a new #1. It's a comic from Whatnot Publishing called Liquid Kill. Beautiful cover. I'll hold it up. It's a beautiful cover. It's very colorful. Couldn't tell you what it's about. The inside of the comic is like it's just earth tones. There's a tiny bit of dark red. It's so hard to read. I had the light on and I was still struggling. Maybe I'm too old for certain comics. I don't know. But that's the only time in the recent past that I've been reading a comic and been like, I have no idea what's happening because the art is so drab and dark. And it's beautiful art. That's the problem. It's beautifully drawn art. The movement and the style is great. It's just colored in a style that is very, very unpleasant to me. So probably not going to finish the arc. Well, it's a 5-issue miniseries, so just not going to finish the comic. Like I'm just not going to keep reading it. I'm not an art snob, but I do have some tendencies towards snobbery, and this is one of those times. I'll read bad art that's legible, but bad art that good art that I can't follow is a non-starter for me.
When you can't read the comic,
yeah,
snob.
I have no idea what's going on. Like, I don't know. So unfortunately, that one's not a go forward book. It's not a winner. I read another new #1 from Tim Seeley, published by Image. It's called Local Man. We got. Yeah. I'm Matt now. I bring my comics to the episode to.
Yeah, right. You do.
So, Local Man is about a superhero who goes back to his hometown because he has been removed from the superhero team that he was a part of for an event that we don't understand yet. But the book opens and he's like sitting on a bench by a bus stop waiting for the bus to show up. And some guy drives by in a truck and then like stops and he goes, "Hey, this bus like doesn't run anymore. Like you're better off just, walking or something." Then he drives up. Then he drives back. Then he backs up again. He's like, "Wait a minute. Aren't you Crossjack?" That was the superhero name. And he goes, "Oh yeah, that's me." And then the guy gives him the finger and drives off.
Good start.
Gets back to his parents' house. His parents are really shitty to him. Like, he goes to a bar, and everyone in the bar is like, dude, get out of here. Like, we don't want you here. When he's leaving the bar, the team that booted him out shows up because he like gets in a fight with a villain outside the bar. They show up and deliver a cease and desist. Like, you can't engage in superhero activities. You can't go by the name Crossjack. You literally can't do anything. Like, you have to live as like a regular guy now because you can't. There's something that happened between him and one of the female members of the team. We still don't know what. And then it ends on a sinister note. Something bad happens to that villain that he fought, but we don't know who did it. We don't know what's coming next, but it was a fun little take on the superhero genre. So I'm in it for a bit. See how it goes. I think it's just a mini series. You know how I love those.
Pretty much.
And then the last thing that I read, I don't know why I put it off as long as I did, but I read the 2 issues of Saga that have released so far. Are you caught up on Saga?
I'm not, but I can very quickly be. It's just...
You don't have to be. I just don't want to say too much if you're not caught up. But
no, I can if it's coming out in regularity. It was just like, once again, I don't know.
Saga has always been on 6 months on, 3 months off until the hiatus.
No, but like there's still been gaps in months though. Like, I know that cadence, but
you were fine with the cadence before.
I'm not a. It's not the 6 months on thing 2 off. It's like there'd be an issue released, then it would take like 2 months for another one to come out.
When Saga? When?
You can pin me against the wall, Dave. I know it.
No, when? Like, I don't remember that ever happening. I read Saga from number 1 in single issue format until the hiatus.
This recent arc.
Yeah. Well, no, what happened was they did 6 back and they said, hey, we're not going to be back until January. They literally told everybody when they were coming back. No, that's exactly what happened. 6 issues, and then they said, we'll be back in January. You can go look it up on the internet right now. You can go get your back issues. BKV told us exactly what was going to happen.
This show should be dude with attitude, parents, other dude.
You're just making stuff up on the spot. Like, you're just pretending like something happened that didn't happen.
Dude with attitude, parents, other dude.
You just need to make up your mind, dude. You just need to make up your mind. You're like, I don't want ongoing series. Then an ongoing series does the exact thing you want, which is publish an arc and then take time off until they can publish an arc with the same writer and author to the same level of quality that you expect, and you're taking them to the mat for it. Like, make up your mind.
I didn't say it wasn't a quality book. Didn't say that. Never said that.
No, I know you didn't. But in the last episode, you said, I wouldn't care if it's just miniseries as long as it's quality. I just want the next banger. Dude, that's what they're doing, and you're, like, pissed about it. Like, make up your mind. What do you want? Not speechless. You got nothing to say.
Just because I watch NASCAR, you don't got to put my voice in that tone. I appreciate it. That's our bellyache. That's our belly laugh of the day.
All right. Well, I'm still going to talk about Saga. I still love Saga, regardless of its scheduling. These 2 issues that I read, they are reminiscent of pre-hiatus Saga to me. There are things happening now that I am like, okay, yeah, like, yes, this is the Saga that I remember. That first arc back was fantastic, but there was a big passage of time. Everything was different. Like, you had to sort of reintroduce yourselves to Alana and Hazel, and I feel like now they're back into classic, quote unquote, classic feel Saga, and it feels so good. I'm so invested in this comic again. I won't say anything else about it.
Might have to read the arc previous again.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
They did come out on a monthly schedule and then took the hiatus, but it's all right. It's fine.
I know they did. You don't have to admit it. I know. I already know. You can save that apology for next episode. You can think of a way to say it in a more grandiose fashion.
We'll catch you next week on Dude with Two Parents, Another Dude.
Well, I'm not done parenting because this is the point in the episode where I ask all of you to share this podcast with your friends, family, or coworkers. You need to help us find people that might like the content that we produce. I've broken Matt. He can't even. He's doubled over laughing. Now he's holding his hand to his mouth laughing. For those that don't watch on YouTube,
Right.
like the video, comment on it, share it. I don't care. Just do some stuff to help people find us. Our Twitter bios are in the description of this episode, along with the link to that article that I mentioned in the news. And we'll be back in 7 days. Until then, I'm Dave.
I'm Matt.
Take care, everybody.